Hello Amigos Unidos families. In this video, you will learn a little bit more about what literacy instruction looks like in our program, as well as how you can support your learner at home, especially our youngest learners. So we'll start by taking a quick look at the curricula that we use. The first program is called Estrellita. This focuses on phonics and building letter sound knowledge. You'll see what we call the sonidos iniciales, the beginning sounds, and we'll probably hear the chant that goes with it, oso, oso, o, 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 and it goes through all the letter sounds. Another one that we use for our leveled readers is called American Reading Company, or ARC. That's where you'll see the colored levels, and your teacher will tell you about where your child is at in those color levels. And those are also the books that they will be bringing home each day and that we use in the classroom. The Units of Study by Lucy Calkins and the Teachers College, that's what we often will refer to as Readers Writers Workshop, is more so the lesson structure and how we teach the different skills through our lessons each day that they will practice while they go off for reading and writing time. You may also see something like this, which is how we show them the skills of the day. Our last one is called Palabras a su paso, or Words Their Way, which is more about word work and learning patterns in words and doing word sorts. So what does reading look like in our immersion classrooms? First of all, it is all in Spanish. 100% of our instruction is in Spanish in the kindergarten and first grade classrooms. They'll get a little bit of science and English in second grade and won't start English literacy until third grade. One of the things that I really like about Readers Writers Workshop is that they start off from day one telling all kids that they are all readers and writers. The littles often come to us and say, I don't know how to write, I don't know how to read. But it starts off by telling them right away, yes, you can. You are all readers and writers. Reading is not just sounding out all the words on the page. Reading is also reading the pictures in the book, finding letters or syllables or words that you know on the page, or retelling a familiar story. So right now, what students will start with in the classroom will be yellow books. Yellow books are pattern books, which means that they are not actually meant to be sounded out. A teacher or adult will read a few pages and then have the child continue on with the pattern and also understand that that different word on the page is connected with what's in the picture. Again, this would all be in Spanish, but for example, it might be something as simple as, I see a cat, I see a dog, I see an elephant, and then we would hope that the child could continue on from there once they hear what the words are. So again, they're not actually reading the words on the page, but it really helps them to build confidence and understand that they are readers. Another skill at this level would be to track words or use correspondence and touch each word once while they're reading. And this is when they'll also be building their foundation of letter and syllable knowledge. Once they're able to read the majority of the syllables and have started reading words, that's when they'll move on to the green level, which is really the first level of independent reading. So students are ready for that stage, like I said, when they can read the majority of the syllables and power words. In English, they're often called sight words because the English language often doesn't follow rules, and so kids just have to memorize words by sight. Whereas in Spanish, it's all phonetic and can be sounded out. So instead of saying sight words, we say power words because if we can read some of our smaller words faster, they'll make us stronger readers and we can use our energy on some of the larger words and decoding. Another thing that we are working on right now in the classroom is building stamina, or how long that they are able to read without interruptions or distractions. So you might even have heard your child come home talking about how many minutes that the class read that day. So we'll track how long the whole class is able to sustain reading without getting up or being distracted. During that reading time, they'll often be given a goal from the reader's workshop of the day that they should be focused on and practicing. And that's also when they'll be practicing finding their letters of the day or syllables or words. So, how can you help them at home? Oftentimes, families will say, but I don't speak Spanish. How am I supposed to read to them if I don't understand any of it? It's okay. You don't have to read to them in Spanish if you're not a Spanish speaker. You can still be their coach and help them with the routines, reminding them that there are 3 ways to read a book: read the pictures, read the words, or retell a story. The biggest thing you can help with is just really establishing the routines. Help them understand that right now is reading time. Help them find a good spot in the house, turn off the technology, make sure they have everything that they'll need so they can stay seated and stay reading, especially their Bolsa Azul, their blue book bag that we'll talk more about in a minute. At school, they each have a book bin. You could make something similar at home, just so they have enough things to read for a sustained amount of time. Oftentimes, a timer is helpful to kids. You can even get free apps on your phone, free visual timer, so they understand how much time is left. And another thing that you can keep doing is reading to them in English. Reading to them is still developmentally appropriate for spending that reading time at home. So our expectation each day is that kids are reading at home for 20 minutes. 10 minutes of that ideally would be in English, and 10 minutes would be spent using the Spanish materials that we'll send home from school. Oftentimes, families wonder, well, won't they get confused learning in 2 languages and reading in 2 languages? The languages, English and Spanish, do not hurt each other by any means. They strengthen each other. The idea that letters have a sound and we can blend those sounds together is the same in both languages. The concept of phonics is the same. You might see at the beginning a little bit that kids will kind of confuse their English and Spanish vowels, but this is something that they outgrow, and really in the long run, being biliterate and bilingual is only a strength. So what can they be reading during that reading time at home? The Bolsa Azul, or blue bag, is what each child will get their own of from their teacher, and it will come home each day and will need to come back to school each day. It's really important that it comes back each day because they will also use the resources in their blue book bag during reading time at school, and then they'll be able to exchange their books and get new ones for reading time at home. Each night they'll bring home a couple books from the level that they're reading at. Their teacher may also occasionally add in some paper books. Those your child can write their name on, they can color in them and keep them. You can either keep them in the blue book bag that they will then be able to continue reading at school, or find a place like a book bin at home that they can keep them in, just so you have even more resources to read during reading time at home. Each child will also get some word lists or syllable lists for their reading level. They'll start with that yellow level, which is the syllables, ma, me, mo, mu, ta, te, ti, to, tu. And once they've mastered the majority of those, they'll start on some word lists, which is the green level. And sometimes your teacher might send home a few extra resources, like a skill card for the level that they're working on, or some extra flashcards. Again, most importantly, this needs to come back and forth to school every day. There are also some digital resources available to your child. The main 2, you'll sign in through Clever with their QR code. The first one is Arc Bookshelf. Those are those colored level readers that we've been talking about. So they do have digital copies on their website or on their app. You'll see on the left-hand side when you sign into the app, all those color levels. The very bottom, make sure you click on Spanish. You might see it says 1 green, 2 green. Make sure you switch it to Spanish so it says uno verde. They do also have English readers available though too that you're welcome to check out if you'd like. And then that's where you'll find all their books. Another option is the app called Learning A to Z. They have a few different programs within the app, but we'll focus on using RAS Plus or Reading A to Z. And that's where you'll find those leveled readers. Like I said, your teacher might send home some paper copies occasionally. A few other choices that, or a few other apps that we'll share for now, and we'll always share more if they become available. One is Epic. I do believe that there is a monthly cost to this, but they have a lot of resources and books available in many different languages, including English and Spanish. Unite for Literacy is a free resource, and they have quite a few books available for free in English and Spanish. So now we'll move on to writing. What does writing look like in our immersion classrooms? Again, we start by teaching all kids that they are all readers and writers. Writing is not just writing words on a page. Writing is telling a reader information with drawings, labels, or words. Again, we will use our writer's workshop and teach different skills each day that the writers will focus on during that writing time. So what does writing look like for our earliest learners, our youngest learners? Here's a few examples of some different stages that we'll see in their writing development. The first example here, you can see that this is one of the earlier stages in writing. The child is able to do pretty clear drawings and give information through their drawings. You can see that there is a girl here. I'm guessing that those are her parents. This, I think, might be an apple, and oh, I see an M, so that's manzana, apples. And a little cart and a P, so maybe those are plátanos, bananas, and maybe a cash register. So I'm guessing that this child is trying to tell me about a time she went to the store with her family. You can see that she's still using just single letter labels, but even those labels give me more information. Then they might move on to more whole word labels. Still, you can get information from the drawing, but the child is able to give more information to the reader by writing whole words. Then you can see that they'll move on to kind of beginning sentence writing. They'll probably add some more labels too, but you can see here that there are multiple words, but no punctuation or spaces or capitalization quite yet. But they have the idea that they want to tell a whole phrase. Then they'll move on, and you can see that the student has the spaces, still missing the capitalization, but we've got spaces and punctuation, still using labels to give more information about what they're trying to tell. Another thing that stands out to me on this example is that the child was maybe using a word list and spelling certain words correctly while still sounding out other ones, corazón. To me, this is still a great example of the child doing their best to sound things out and using their letter sounds even though it's not correct. The words that we have practiced are correct, which is a great skill. And one more level that we'll look at here, you can see there's a lot more detail in the drawings. They're still using labels to give more information. We've got our capitals along with our spaces and punctuation and even multiple sentences. So one of the things that I think is really important to know that we as teachers do in the classroom and you as families can do at home is to just encourage the child, no matter where they're at in their development, to just try to move maybe one stage farther. If they're still at single letter labeling, I'm not going to try to get them to write a full sentence. Instead, I'll try to get them to stretch those words out, help them hear the sounds, and try to write the whole word as the label. So really just trying to get them to bump up kind of one stage. So what else can you be doing to support your children at home? A few things that we try not to do are to actually spell the words out, D-O-G, or write it down for them to copy. An exception to that would be if it's a word from their word list, then using your word list as a tool to see how to write it properly is a great skill. But if it's a word that's not on their word list, we don't want them to just learn to copy. Then they aren't using their skills to sound things out. And then they become reliant on that and can lose a lot of confidence, always thinking that it needs to be right as opposed to just trying their best. So really that's what we want them to do. Encourage them to do their best, and even if you see that they write it down and it's possibly not perfect or not correct, still praising them that they tried their best and used